But there are moments, particularly in my job, where, opportunities come up that quite honestly are unexpected. And they force you to stop and reevaluate and look at it and say, hey, is this something that could be, really beneficial to the team? And that was the case in this instance.
That's Andrew Berry from Tuesday. Yesterday, we opened the show with Andrew Berry from late March saying, never, 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 ever, 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 ever are we trading Myles Garrett, which proves yet again that it's all baloney. It doesn't mean anything. And the fact that the Browns have been this analytics-obsessed team since the Paul DePodesta hire, now he's not there anymore, but they still operate the same way. How could you not reduce every player on your team to a mathematical equation? How does this person help us win? What could we get instead? How do we replace his production? What do we think the duration of his career is? How much money are we going to have to pay him? All those things that turn a human being into a series of numbers that get plugged into all the other numbers and they come up with the right number. Somehow Myles Garrett's exempt from that at a time when they could sell high and get a real return, and those days are going to be gone. We said last year when he asked to be traded, they should trade him.
Yeah, that's right.
Because by the time they ever turn it around, he's going to be past his prime.
Yeah.
Get what you can now. Replenish some of the picks that you pissed away. Sorry, London. And the Deshaun Watson deal, we focus so much on the contract, that ridiculous $230 million fully guaranteed contract. It obscures all the draft picks they gave up. You combine it all together, and it makes the Herschel Walker trade look like a clerical error.
Yeah.
The worst transaction of all time was this Deshaun Watson deal. They gave up all those picks. Now they get a chance to get some of them back, and they get two first-round picks as a practical matter because Jared Verse is a first-round pick who's panned out. He's better than a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So you get him, you get a 1, you get a 2, and you get a 3. Now was the time to do it. You avoid having to pay Myles Garrett. You avoid having any awkwardness, and you acknowledge the reality. By the time we turn this thing around, Myles Garrett is not going to be the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And the Browns, yes, the Deshaun Watson trade, bad, all of that, but they're making up for it these last few years. With the trading of pick number 2 for the 2025 draft, where the Jacksonville Jaguars went up to get Travis Hunter. That let them have 2 first-round picks this past season. And now next year they're going to have 2 again. And along with Jared Verse, like you're saying, is a first-round pick too. So they've set it up to where, yes, they were extremely wobbly there as an organization and in their roster, to where you can look at it now and start to go, hey, there's some bright spots here. And with Todd Monken leading the charge on the offensive side, they got a chance to set things up here and maybe be something here in the next few years. Now, hopefully they can capitalize on all of this, but I think the timing was right. They're in a spot right now, but yeah, it doesn't make sense to have Myles Garrett. Strike while the iron's hot. You can get about as much as you could ever get for him right now, and they did that. And now you can usher this in with Todd Monken, and you can usher it in with, we don't know exactly what the quarterback situation is going to be. Could be Shedeur Sanders for the future. If that's it, that's great. Then you got this young nucleus around him. If it's Deshaun Watson this year, I don't know. I don't know if I believe Deshaun Watson's the long-term answer for much more than this year, but we'll see where it goes. Either way, yeah, I think it made sense for where they are as a football team right now and where Myles Garrett is. I think it was totally the right move and hard to turn down that package of picks they got right there.
Here is Andrew Berry on why he decided to do the thing that he once said he would never do and trade Myles Garrett.
The why now is just, honestly, the opportunity was too great. It wasn't like a plan A going into the offseason. Quite honestly, we would have operated differently if it was. But sometimes things come across your path that you're not expecting, and you can't be so dogmatic in your strategy and planning that you can't adjust and be flexible to great opportunities.
That's great, and that's right, and that's fair. Then why did you ever say you're never trade him? No one is permanently untradeable. There may be a guy who right now you're not going to trade under any set of circumstances, but that doesn't mean he's untradeable for his entire career. We do this exercise from time to time. Who are the players at any given moment who are untradeable under any circumstances? And it always begins with a handful of quarterbacks, but Myles Garrett had been on that list, and now he's not. And they made the right move. He's 30, and they're selling high, and they're replenishing the picks they lost from the Watson deal, and they are in the process of turning this thing around. Quarterback is going to be the key, as you said, Chris. Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Are they going to use those 2 first-round picks next year to position themselves to get Arch Manning if he ends up being the guy that rises to the top?
Yeah.
Who knows? There may be another Fernando Mendoza out there we don't know about.
Right.
That's how it's gone with some of these guys in recent years, whether it's Mendoza or Joe Burrow. They go from unknown to the clear-cut number 1 guy, Heisman winner, national champion. So there may be somebody else out there, but that could be what the Browns.
Yep.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.